Hello, this is Zwift number 20. This is stage 1, flat and fast again. I know it's the same as 19, Zwift number 19, but that was because I was supposed to be riding at 12 o'clock, or just after 12 o'clock, and I got held up. Got held up by some gardening work that somebody was doing at our house, and therefore couldn't join at 12 o'clock. So I joined this race just after 2 o'clock. As I said, same race as last time. 19.6 kilometre race, only 32 metres of incline around the Temple Fugit's route in Wartopia. We had 97 people join. That was quite a few more than the race a couple of days ago. I joined late into the pen, so I was quite far back. So that first minute was me pushing really hard. Had to get my watts over 500 at the start just to try and get hold of this front group. And you can see in the mini map in the top right hand corner there's a split, and I'm 2/3 of the way back, or maybe half the way back. But the group is quite stretched at the moment. You can see that there's 3 groups in the mini map, and I'm in the front group, and there's quite a big split to the second group. But I'm 56th place here, and there's about 3 or 4 riders behind me, so there's just over 60 riders in this front group. Whether the rest can join up will be seen shortly. I can't remember if they do or not, to be honest. But you can see that here, after 2 kilometres, we start to bunch up. I actually end up coming through quite close to the front. So yeah, we've got a good, hard, strong group here. 255 average watts, which is good for me. So you'll see in the mini map in the top right hand corner there's a few little blobs just behind us, and they are people who are trying to catch hold of us. They're not people who've been dropped. M. Baylet from France was one of them, F. Morin from Canada, and Ville Bicycle. Doesn't spell bicycle, so I'll go for bicycle. And they're all chasing up behind us, and hopefully they're trying to catch hold of our group. There they are here.
Ride on. Ride on. Ride on.
So as we ride through Saddle Springs here, you can see Mbale is just about to rejoin. It's taken him quite a little bit of time. He's still distanced slightly, but yeah, he'll join on to us sooner or later. And I think we are around about a group of about 60 here, and we're working hard. My average watts are slightly down on the race from the other day at 238. I think I was in the 240s of the day at this point. But a huge big group, and I think one of the reasons for the slightly lower average wattage is because of the size of the group and taking the benefits of the large group and the drafting effect from that large group. So fast forward a couple of kilometres, big group of us here. I start to move off the front here, and I'm pushing 270 watts for a split second, and I'm starting to think, shall I try and extend this group and push the group and see what happens? It's a difficult situation to be in, because you can do it and you can burn a lot of matches by doing that, and you know, you then are in a position where you are struggling to hold on to. So yeah, you're being positive and very proactive within the group, but potentially you have the situation where you're going to lose out. But yeah, I'm going to go for it, have a little push, see what happens. Up around 300 watts. M. Maone follows me, and other members of the group start to push past as well. So you can see that the group is slightly stretched, so whether we decide to try and
Right
push
on.
again. But off the front goes T. Leo from Belgium. He has a push for a few seconds, but he'll come back with us again. But I think we'll see him again shortly. Plus, this time of the race is always a challenge for myself because there's a very, very slight incline. It's on a decline now, but there's a few inclines up and around here where I find it hard to push as hard as I would like to push. So after doing that initial push a couple of times, I now find myself a little bit distance from the front and I'm in danger of getting split. You can see that somebody has dropped off the back of the group as we get to the far end of the route and on our way back to the start finish line. So as we stayed together in a big bunch and nothing really happened, I fast forwarded a few more minutes, but there off the front in the green goes M. Ameth, which I presume would spell mammoth. He goes off the front, the English rider, and there's with just under 7k, is he making a push for it? Does he feel as though he can work on his own to get ahead? No one's actually followed him. I'm trying to zoom in on him here by going through the field. Here he is, out on his own, pushing 3 watts, 3.4 watts. Looks though he's working hard with a high cadence, but you'll see the rest of the group catch on, and then shortly you'll see M. Mammoth come back into the group with us. But you can see how long we're all stretched now. I'm back in 59th place here. And are any gaps going to start appearing? If they are, then I'm in danger. I'm always want to try to stay with this front group as long as possible. I'm still not at the ability yet of being able to challenge for a podium in this category. That's the higher level of the category is 330 on the race score. I'm still at 301, but I just managed to catch hold of the front group and they all slow down again, so that's quite beneficial. But you can see behind us in the mini map, when it goes around a corner, you can see a bit more of it, how there are various different riders who've been stretched and split. So obviously the pace has picked up a bit here. So you can also see how I'm yo-yoing through the group, and a few seconds ago I was 4th and following a few riders by the name of T. Leo again, and Z2 TDF 27, he was up there. And they were pushing hard and they're out the front, and now I'm back right at the back of this front group. I'm 47th and there's about 5 or 6 riders behind me, and I'm really struggling here now. Can I keep hold of them? So you can see that there's very few riders side by side here. We're all just stretched out one behind the other. Everyone's working really, really hard. There's people dropping off, there's people pushing forward, and it's a very, very chaotic group. As I'm riding through here, very shortly you'll see in the blue on the right hand side, that's Z2 GDF. He's put in his spurt that you saw a few minutes ago, but he's dropped right back off again now. But as quickly as the group is stretched and everybody is riding one in front of the other, we all bunch back up again, and we're back to the last 4k, and everyone's taking advantage of that drafting. So nothing really happened then for the next few kilometres, so I've jumped forward again. You can see that from being bunched up at 4k that we started to stretch out again, and I'm just going to go through different people in the group to see if I can find somebody towards the front so I can get them going over the finish. I know we're obviously double speed, but the cadence for a lot of riders was good. You can see that these front riders here, they've got their wattage up around 400, 450 watts. There's a small group out the front. I've just randomly picked Kay Davis to follow, just so that I can be amongst the riders over the finish line and you can get a good idea of their race and their challenge to get onto the podium. but it was actually Kay Davis who was out in front. You'll see that there's a change in angle in a minute, and he's got a bit of a gap between himself and P. Burke and T. Blomqvist as well. He was pushing hard, but Kay Davis was putting out the numbers. He's back down into the 7 watts per kilogram, but he put in the red numbers where I think he was in and around 9 watts. But he's still got a bit of a gap. There's no one really challenging. They're quite close behind, but ultimately at the end he takes the finish and wins the race. And I have to stroll over the finish line in 43rd second, completely distanced from the group that I was riding with. That may well have been because I was focusing in on the rest of the peloton in front of me, but I was completely spent at this point. So here's the final standings with Kay Davis out in front, averaging 3.2 watts. And then P. Burke in second, 2.9. T. Leo, he had a mention earlier on, he ended up coming third. Slightly further down, T. Blomqvist, he had a mention earlier on for making a dart for it. He averaged 2.8 watts and came in 28th. Amath in 32nd. He was also mentioned. There's me back on 2.7 watts, which is good for me. You know, I've come up from around 2.0 watts around 8 months ago and started riding a bit more consistently. GDF's also there in 53rd place. But you know, an enjoyable ride from everybody there, and really competitive, big bunch group at the start, working hard together and get a good draft. But thanks for watching, hope you enjoy it, and please watch a little bit more. Thanks.